Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McKola. So just come out of the kickoff. I had to get out of the office quickly because they're obviously switching over to their UFC stream, but we're still outside the door. Probably going to cause them lots of problems, but we're here to give you my reaction to Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0, and I'm not going to lie, I'm absolutely gutted with that result. I understand it. It's not a bad result to take. You know, Chelsea, you can draw games in those fixtures at any time. They're a difficult opposition. They've got tricky players on their team. But given the circumstances, given our start to the season, given our results at home, we needed to win this game, I felt. And Chelsea were there to be taken. They had a goalkeeper who made, yes, he made some very, very good saves, but we also saw moments from Mendy where he nearly kicked the ball into his own net, do you know what I mean? And I felt like we could have capitalised on the uncertainty in Chelsea's defence a little bit more, but also you could probably say Manchester United had uncertainty in their defence as well, and maybe Chelsea could have capitalised on that a little bit more. So a draw was probably a fair result in the end, but I felt there were things that we probably could have done to make sure that that wasn't the case, and we didn't do that. First off, the team selection. I understood Fred and McTominay starting, I understood Bruno starting. Obviously, Rashford started up top, but I did feel we were missing something there. Whether it was getting Cavani on to start 60 minutes, I know he hasn't played much football, or starting Mason Greenwood as one of the wide players, getting a little bit more pace out there and a little bit more quality as well, because we had Daniel James on that left wing position. He's got the pace, but unfortunately he lacks the quality. And I felt if we had a winger in those positions today with a little bit more quality, we'd probably get a little bit more out of the game. And I felt we did play a lot more of our better football when we got Paul Pogba in that left position. And he came on for Daniel James. It's not a massive criticism of Daniel James. I think he knows his place in this squad. I think we all know his place in this squad. He's a useful squad player. And we saw last season he got a goal against Chelsea in a 4-0 win. But I just thought today that was one of the issues for United, a little bit of a lack of quality from those wider areas, and we didn't really create any chances from those wider positions for the players in the middle. Juan Mata played on the right-hand side as well, and I felt like this probably wasn't the game for Juan Mata. You know, Chelsea weren't a team that were going to sit with four banks of four and try and soak up pressure, and we needed someone with the guile and the creativity and the magic to kind of just get that pass through. We saw, you know, a Juan Mata playing against a team that had a lot of pace, a lot of physicality, and that's not Juan Mata's game. So I kind of felt like this probably wasn't the game for Juan Mata today. It definitely wasn't the game for Daniel James. And maybe, you know, Chelsea's fullbacks bombing forward, and we thought we'd probably get the spacing behind them to be able to cause problems with Daniel James, but unfortunately that never happened. McTominay and Fred, I thought, continued their impressive performances in midfield as well. I thought Bruno looked pretty good today. A few opportunities where he maybe could have pulled the trigger earlier, or, you know, done a little bit better, but I thought he looked his usual self. It weren't because he had a bad game. And then you look at, you know, defensively, I thought it was good for Maguire. There was a few uncertain moments with Maguire where, you know, he was a little bit worrying. You know, you're a little bit worried about, you know, is he going to create, is he going to cause a foul, is he going to get beaten too easy? And I think when he gets squared up and he's flat-footed, he's so easy to just nip around. But, you know, he got a clean sheet today. That will be a massive boost to his confidence, especially after the goal he scored against Newcastle. And then to come back in today and get that clean sheet really helped. But I thought it was Victor Lindelof alongside him who impressed the most for me today. I thought he was incredible. Aaron Wan-Bissaka continued where he left off in the Parc des Princes. And of course at left back as well, we saw Luke Shaw play there, and I thought Alex Telles, game for him, someone that's going to get forward, someone that's going to bomb into those positions and get deliveries into the box. It didn't happen, unfortunately. So, you know, I thought it was a decent performance without really causing Chelsea any serious problems. We had to do that and we didn't. And it's an opportunity missed, but it's not a result that's the end of the world. Like, we looked at this fixture list, we knew we had a difficult fixture list coming up: Newcastle, PSG, Chelsea, RB Leipzig, Arsenal, Istanbul. Then you've got another difficult game in the Premier League against Everton. And whilst I knew that, you know, these were, you know, a tricky game, I wanted to see us get more points out of them. Now, we got a win against PSG, drew here. Now, this result looks better if we win our next few games. This result looks worse if we had bad results in those games. So this result's not the end of the world, But it's an opportunity missed, I feel. It's definitely an opportunity missed. And when you look at the way this season's going, when you look at the way this campaign is going, I feel like we should have been making the most or more out of this opposition than we actually did in the end. So extremely disappointed with the way the result was, but there were some good things about our performance. And Paul Pogba coming off the bench as well, I thought he showed why he should probably be starting in the next couple of games, because his passing's getting better, he's using the trickery in the right places, he's putting in tackles in the right places, he's playing the pass shooting in the right place, and I thought he looked really good today. Marcus Rashford did all right for United, playing in that through the middle position, almost scored as well, brought a great save out of Mendy. And then you look at, coming from the bench, Edinson Cavani came off the bench today. He looked really sharp, nearly scored with his first touch. He'll offer us something different going forward, but we need more. You look at Donny van der Beek, didn't get used today, disappointed with that. Axel Tuanzebe, who performed magnificently well against Paris Saint-Germain, didn't play today. You're looking at those players, they haven't been used. We have still got a good squad there, but unfortunately wasn't the result we wanted.
From our perspective, to be honest, I think it's a good point.
Yeah, I think it's a good point for you guys, although I think a lot of you fans watching that would have been like, we should have got a goal there, or we could have got. I think the one result none of us expected today was 0-0. Both those defences to keep a clean sheet, and that's exactly what they've both done. So I think the defences will be walking off that pitch thinking, bloody hell, I've kept a clean sheet. We haven't done one of them in a while, although I know you drew 0-0 midweek. And the attackers will be coming off thinking, we should have had them there. Because I don't think either side played particularly well. There were periods of the game, especially in the first half, where Uslak were dominating the possession, and you think, Ollie's got his selection wrong, other players tired from Paris, what is going on here? And then we had a little bit of a reaction in the second half when we brought on Paul Pogba, and I thought our team looked a lot better. But it was never, if we won that, I think it would have been undeserved.
Can I ask you, were you surprised at the selection from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Because as a Chelsea fan, obviously I've got a huge vested interest in the game. I was delighted to see Paul Pogba on the bench. I was delighted to see Edinson Cavani on the bench. Would you have started at least one of those players over, say, somebody like Dan James?
I wanted Pogba to start, but Dan James is a winger. With Martial being out, Cavani just coming back, that's Rashford's position. Rashford goes 9. You then need someone to play out wide. Would I have started Daniel James? Personally, no. Did I see that kind of thing happening? I saw McTominay and Fred playing in midfield, so I'm not surprised that Pogba was on the bench. I would have started him, maybe in a midfield 3 or even in the 4-2-3-1. But yeah, I can see what you mean. There are players that Mason Greenwood, you wouldn't want to play against him.
Exactly.
You'd rather play against Daniel James, because Mason Greenwood has the pace. He might not be as quick as James, but he knows what he's doing with it. Did you see that clip of Thierry Henry and AJ and that speaking about pace the other day?
What were they saying?
And Thierry Henry they were saying like who would win out of a race. They were having a kind of little joke, Mbappe and Henry. But then Henry took a serious moment aside and he was like, look at this kid though. He's special. He's not just quick. He's looking around. He can take a touch on his left foot, his right foot. He knows when players are coming. Daniel James is just quick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's just quick and he doesn't do enough for me. And I feel he's got to do more. So I agree. I would have played Pogba from the start maybe, but I can understand why Oli hasn't. He hasn't been great this season so far.
And overall, though, are you happy with the point?
No. A draw against Chelsea, you can take, like, I've been to games against Chelsea over the years where we've got battered, where we've had, I remember like Hasselbank being in the studio on Sky
that
today.
Top corner.
Made me think of the 3-3.
That top
corner.
corner.
Ranieri's first game for you guys at Old Trafford?
When he took it on his chest and hit it across,
3-3 game, Ranieri. Like, I remember, like, Chelsea are a team that we're not expected to beat every game, I know that. But after we'd lost our first 2 opening league games at home, and then you've not won at home, you're coming up against a Chelsea side, they're under pressure, you draw against Southampton, and then to not even score. That's what I said. You said to me, what's your prediction? I said, I don't know, but we'll score.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
And do you know what? Considering Chelsea's leaky back line, like, it's different now we have a keeper who played very well.
Apart from that one moment. He passed it into the net.
Goal, didn't he? Yeah, that was a slightly agonising moment. But aside from that, I think you could easily make a case for him being man of the match.
Yeah, and that says the quality of the match
was low.
Low, but also the defenders and the keepers had the best game, didn't they? I think for us, Victor Lindelof looked better than I've seen him in a long time. You obviously won't see that because you don't see United as regularly as me, but he hasn't looked great recently. Maguire, he didn't look convincing at times. There was a few times where you square him up and you flip past him, Pulisic causing problems, but a clean sheet will boost him massively. You saw him trudging off for England. He looked like he wanted to be anywhere else but on a football pitch. So to get a clean sheet's big, but I'd say if I was being neutral, from a neutral perspective, Mendy, had to get it.
Got to be man of the match.
Get the man of the match.
Do you know what? Just before I let you go, Ad, we've just come out of the kick-off studio. You've become a semi-regular on the kick-off these days.
Mate, I love it. I do.
It's good, isn't it?
I love it. And I was chatting to Bry once, and he said we'd love to get you on more regularly. Obviously, I'm doing my thing, so it's difficult, especially on match days. My problem was I'd be at this game.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I wouldn't be able to come and pop in with yous lot. So the fact that I'm not at them means I've got more time to do that, and I love it because. One of the things about me and YouTube, you'll know because I've worked with you from the start of my YouTube career. But like, I don't force relationships with people. Like, if I don't like someone, I'm not gonna work with them in it. And I think every single lad that comes on the show, I like working with them individually. So yeah, it's a good mix. Man.
No, it's been good. I suppose last thing to say, what does this result mean from here? Where do Manchester United go?
It's not a bad result. It's not a bad. It could have been worse. I hate to use that phrase because it normally means you've not got what you wanted, but it's not a destabilising result. We'll go into the game against Leipzig thinking, all right, we beat PSG, beat Newcastle, clean sheet against Chelsea. Let's keep it. It depends on the next result, doesn't it? Yeah. Because if you lose your next game, then this point looks shit. Yeah. If you win your next game, then it looks like a result that's just come in the middle of a difficult fixture list, and you keep so early in the season.
Yeah.
How do you feel about pre-season and fitness? And are you expecting, like, because these lads, like earlier today, I didn't pull them up on it probably, like, United look shit, and it's like, well, yeah, but it's been 3 games at home. Like, it's not been many games, you know.
There is that, but the trouble is, although it all feels very fresh and the games are coming thick and fast, what are we now, 6-7 games in? The table does start to take shape around this time, and you have to start paying attention to it, because if you're too far adrift now, it does become insurmountable.
Yeah. You can't win them, but you can lose them.
Exactly.
Is like what I say. Anyway, like, comment, share. Thank you to the boys for having me today at the kickoff. As you see, I had to do it out of the office because the guys had to get onto their next shoot, but we got it done in the end. So keep it like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to Stretford Paddock. I have been Adam McKola. I'm out of here.